Pay Your People Better, April 7th, 2026. It's a Tuesday. For me, it was a Tuesday. Recognize that Street Fighter, the movie quote from M. Bison. The day you met M. Bison was the day that, I don't know, I came to your village and destroyed your whatever. But for me, it was Tuesday. Oh, man. So, when I was walking around the store and I was almost done, I was like, I saw the maple syrup at Smart and Final, and I was like, what's the ingredients in this? And it says pure maple syrup. I was like, okay. It even says pure maple syrup on the front, of course. But the ingredients are the thing that generally matter. And then I started looking at all the other more expensive versions, and they all said the same shit. And I was like, well, as far as I'm aware, I've never had any maple syrup in my life. I've always had, corn syrup flavored like maple syrup. Whenever I get pancake syrup or something, especially when I was a kid. So, I said, screw it, let's buy it. Let's see what happens. And it tastes very much exactly like all the syrup I've had in my life. So that's fun. I also bought some toaster strudel. So I've been thinking about it recently. And then I watched Binging with Babish and his video on how to make them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I have a mess of dishes right now, and water pressure is virtually non-existent. So I've had the oven preheated to 350. Oh man, wow. So one thing I've realized, about this back injury that I currently am dealing with, is that it's probably a herniated disc, which sucks. Hold on. Kitchen timer. Yesterday I had 4 total strudels, and I went for 3 minutes on both sides. On the first one, they were still kind of cold. Then I went 5 minutes on both sides, and that one was like right there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have 5, and then I'll flip it, and then I'll do 5 more. I'll go to the physical therapist, and let's go back to that comment about the potential herniated disc. I think what happened when I was doing my lifts is that I hurt, I slipped a disc. I herniated a disc. And so, because what I've realized when looking stuff up, and then also like looking up how, like the actions that you have to, you might have to take to help overcome, because you don't really cure a disc injury, that it heals on its own. So I might as well take some pain meds while I'm at it. Is that it helps, with your adductor muscles. Like, if you ever see somebody with like, not like an 8-pack, but with like a 10-pack abs, where you see the 6 main abs, right? And then you see that 8th one down there, but then you see like the side abs, and not just the V, but like the side motherfuckers. Those muscles help you with your posture. I can't remember exactly which adductor they are. I think they're adductor. I could be wrong. If I remember, I'll put it in top comment. Still can't pin comments to this account because of stupid shit. They want me to fucking identify myself with goddamn ID card. I'm like, oh, no, I don't need to do that. But I've realized that, in order to help overcome the pain, I basically have to just lock in and just you know how It's almost like, but not exactly like, when, and you shouldn't do this anyway, when you try to bear down and push real hard to take a shit. You shouldn't do that, because that's a great way to get a hernia. The best way to avoid that is take some fiber. As it so happened, I watched a video, John Green on the Vlog Brothers channel, about pooping wrong. You're pooping wrong. There's a researcher who does the whole like communication between the brain and the gut. Apparently she wrote a really good book that he really liked. Let me get my brush. But yeah, so like similar, but like slightly up, because you're not dealing with like the pelvic floor muscles and stuff in this specific situation. You're dealing with like, so it's like holding in a breath, and as if you're about to try to shove it out of you, but then you don't. And I've had to like sort of do that lock in. The physical therapist, he mentioned like log rolling, where like that's kind of what I've been having to do to get out of bed. But I've also realized, especially today, because I've been kind of like putting more effort into thinking about it, when I do that lock in, but then I do the typical actions, like trying to get out of bed, putting on clothes and stuff like that, it is significantly less painful. And so my thinking is that I probably didn't have enough of my muscles activated when I was doing my squats and my deadlifts. Because as much as I understand working out, I also am a very forgetful person. And so I could still be doing something the right way, but then forgetting an aspect of what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I've never really had a problem. Oh, shush. Kitchen timer, 0. Kitchen timer, 0, 5. Alright. Well, let's pause. We'll flip it first. Oh, shit. All this stuff's in the way. And this is the thing that kind of frustrates me. Hold on. Because I can't really talk while I do this. Because I gotta hold my breath. I'll do a 4-minute this time. Just to see. Oh shit. That's not what I wanted. Kitchen timer. Anyway, so yeah, I have to kind of like hold my breath to lock it all in. But while I'm doing it, like it makes doing stuff easier. Like it doesn't hurt as much. I still feel it, but when I just bent over like that, I would have such a hard time doing that normally if I didn't breathe in like that. It obviously means that those muscles are less developed than they should be. And had I been doing the exercise correctly, I probably wouldn't have had this issue. And this is why, this is why I hate having ADHD. This is why I hate my brain, the way that it functions. Because so in so many different ways, I have suffered because I've forgotten to do something. Whether it's forgetting to put the cheese back in the fridge, or forgetting to lock to activate the right muscles during a workout routine. And so it's like, and the thing is I know how to do them. I know how to do this. The problem is that despite my knowledge, oftentimes, especially when that knowledge is necessary, it just goes away. Like even when I was doing doing first aid to that one dude on the street, like I wasn't locked in the way that I needed to be into the not, because I've had first aid training basically since I was 13. You know, I had it in Boy Scout. I got the first aid badge when I was in Boy Scouts. You know, it's real easy to do it, to get the first aid badge when all it is a bunch of tests, especially because I'm a test taker. You know, I've always been it's always been easy for me to pass tests. Even if I don't necessarily get a great grade, especially if it's a multi-choice quest, you know, almost every time I'm going to get it right. Or at the very least, you know, I'm going to get enough of them right. I mean, hell, a perfect example is back in my 9th grade class when it was the final and like 4 people were cheating off of me. And I was like, I knew every single answer except for one. And it was like a 100-question test. And I was like, I don't know this answer. I think it's, what I do know is it's not these two. It was, you know, it was A through B, or A through D. I didn't know the actual answer. I knew that it was one of 2, but I could not remember which one it was. And so I was like, just guess, because I don't know this one. And the funniest thing is like 1 or 2 of the people, they kind of gave me this, like, one, she kind of gave me a little bit of attitude, and I'm just like, I knew the rest of them, I just don't know this one. Which is funny, because if you think about it, it's just like, you don't know any of them. Which is why you're cheating off of me. But that was a class that I actually knew shit about. It was a biology class, and anyway. But like, taking a test is different than doing the thing. And it's hard for me sometimes to remember to do the thing that I gotta do. Like the tourniquet that I used, I didn't put it on right. I know I didn't. Like, I had an extension cable. I basically used a cable like this in order to start with a tourniquet. And that wasn't holding very well. And I'm sure that was part of what was freaking me out. Other than the fact that, you know, I'm sitting here trying to keep this dude from bleeding to death. But then on top of it, you know, it's like, I guess put this in the fridge now. I got so many condiments, but you know, it's just I'm sitting here, I'm doing this tripod on, and then I get like one of the newer ones where it's like Velcro, and I don't put it on as tight as I should either, because despite everything, despite all my training, the thing that I definitely was not trained for was how to overcome my own mental lockups in a crisis like that. And in all honesty, like, I hope you never have to do first aid, because not everybody's equipped to do it mentally. I definitely wasn't, and I wasn't aware of it until I was doing, you know, until after the fact, and I almost went and fucking tried to kill myself. Like, I was planning it, and it was going to happen later that day. And I guess the only upside to having ADHD is because I basically forgot to do it after a while. I was also just exhausted from the day, from the ordeal and everything else. I was like, well, fuck it, let's just go to sleep early. But, yeah, I mean, it's like, ADHD does not benefit me. It is not a superpower for me. It might be for some people, But I like those people to keep that shit to themselves, honestly. And it doesn't matter how old I am, this shit's still tasty. I mean, of course it is. It's just straight up sugar, but... yeah, so, you know, I'm just trying to remember to activate these muscles when I'm, you know, got to hinge myself or, you know, like I'm sitting down or whatever. I'm not going to be working out for a while. Got to do this physical therapy stuff for the other injuries. I'm going to see about asking the therapist about the possibility of incorporating other exercises that can help. I think the bridge exercise that he has me doing should help, but it's often painful. So I'm just going to try to get him. I don't get a lot of, I don't get a lot of time with him usually. Now, last time, he was basically the only person I was working with, which was nice because I got to talk to him a bit more about some other things as well. But, you know, it's just like, it's not to say that the other, like, his students that are working there, because, I mean, they're all in some kind of physical therapy program, I'm sure. I don't know to what degree that they're there, like, you know, doing and learning, etc. And they may be more aware, but at the same time, they also may not have the same level of authority when it comes to what can be changed, if anything. So, and so that's why I'm, you know, like if I'm talking to him, I'd like to at least talk to him about it specifically to see if there's something that we can do, or if there's something that I'm already doing that I need to be more focused on. You know, and if it's something that can be incorporated that helps with this specific injury, but because like this injury for me matters more than what he is doing for physical therapy for me. And that's not to say that he's ignoring me. It feels like it, but at the same time, you know, I don't have long-term planning capabilities. I'm just very bad at that shit. I guess I can turn my oven off, keep it from making me in here. But yeah, I mean, it's like, he may have a better game plan as to how this all is working. And, you know, I'm going to defer to him being the more knowledgeable person because he's the person who studied for this shit, not me. But that's also why I want to open this dialogue and be like, what can I do that can help with this potential herniated disc issue? Other than just resting all fucking day, because that's what I've been doing. Now, knowing and doing what I've been doing and what I know has helped with, you know, now that I can get out of bed and I can get off the fucking toilet and all kinds of shit easier, my back isn't having as many problems. And so that's something that, like, you know, I'm going to take into consideration as well going forward. Like, I can learn. It's not hard for me to learn. It's often hard for me to implement for multiple reasons. And I won't be able to use the excuse of, well, getting on the floor is so hard now because of this. Because now I can get on the floor easier. It's still a little painful, but it's not as painful because now I know how to activate these muscles. And I know that in doing so, that helps to mitigate the pain and thus allows me to do more things. So there's a little bit, because of this knowledge and because of the fact that I've been able to make these changes, I can't fall back on the, well, it hurts excuse. My information, my knowledge, my lived experience is helping me in this situation so that I can then do the things that he is demanding of me, or, you know, whatever, however you want to word that. He's not a demanding person, but like, demands aren't necessarily, you know, a whipping fucking move your ass kind of shit. demands come in all kinds of forms. But I mean, the need to eat is a kind of demand that your body puts upon yourself. So, yeah, it's, I wasn't looking forward to this therapy meeting when I woke up, but I am a little bit more so now, which is good. Still tired though, because my whole sleep schedule's been fucked because of this. But hopefully knowing what I know and doing what I'm doing and trying my best to just take care of the maintenance of self and place. I've got a broom now, so I can sweep more. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Have fun.